Boom.
Okay, we are going to solve this half-life problem. Notice that there are 3 different questions in it. We're going to use our formula. Remember, A equals A naught times 1/2 to the total time T divided by H, the half-life. So, for the first question, if the sample contained 510 grams, how much chromium would remain after 56 days? So, using the formula, the final amount is equal to 510 grams. The sample contained 510 grams, so that tells us that is A naught, our initial amount, times 1/2 to the total time T, so would remain after 56 days is our total time, and it's said that the half-life of chromium-51 is 28. So, order of operations is we need to solve the exponent first. So it'd be 510 grams times 1/2 to the second power. 1/2 to the second power is 1/4, so 510 grams times a fourth, or 0.25. So a fourth of 510 is 127.5 grams. That is how much would remain after 56 days. Now, for the second part of the question, how much would remain after 1 year? So I'm going to split the screen here. You would have A is equal to 510 grams times 1/2 to the, in 1 year there's 365 days divided by the half-life, 28. So, I believe this is 13, but let's calculate it. 365 divided by 28 is 13.03. There's no need to carry the decimal there, just bring it down. So 510 grams times 1/2 to the 13th power. And so we can raise 1/2 to the 13th power by doing 2 to the 13th, which is 8,192, so it'd be 510 grams times 1/8,192, and so 1 divided by 8,192 times 510, it looks like we would have 0.0623 grams if we rounded that off. 0.0623 grams is equal to A. That's how much would remain after a year. Then the last question, how much was present 168 days ago? For this one, we need to solve for A naught in our equation. So we are going to slide 510 to the final amount, and we are going to work backwards to solve for A naught. So using our equation, it would be 510 grams. And again, we are putting that as the final concentration because that is how much was present currently. That's how much we have left. And so we want to go back 168 days. So we need to figure out how many half-lives occurred in 168 days. So 1/2, and then your total time was 168 days, knowing your half-life is 28. So 168 divided by 28 is 6, so it'd be 510 grams is equal to A naught times 1/2 to the 6th power. And so 1/2 to the 6th power would be 1/64, so it'd be 510 grams is equal to A naught times 1/64. You would multiply both sides by 64 to get rid of the fraction, and so it would be times 64 over here. So 510 times 64, our final, or our initial amount that we started with 168 days ago would have been 32,640 grams. 32,640 grams. All right. Let me stop it.